I wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be here with you guys today. I am thankful, and the more I tell you about myself and my story, you'll understand why I'm very thankful to be here today, especially talking to a group of ladies, okay? My name is Kimber Johnson. I am a 5-time world champion in sport karate. I have a 17-0 boxing record, and I have a Olympic bronze medal. So I've achieved a lot of things in my lifetime. I'm 45 now, but I've been through a lot of adversity in my life. And hopefully, by me telling you guys who I am and what I've been through, it can resonate with some of you guys. Maybe you're going through some things that it might help you be able to overcome or to relate to. And just know that no matter what, you can persevere and become what you want to become in life. 2 things I always tell ladies or young women when I go around and I talk to them. I go around the world and I teach a lot of self-defense workshops, confidence, self-esteem, things like that. But 2 things that I always say to them that I want you to remember throughout this seminar that we're doing today is that I want you to say, who am I? And what do I want to become? And if you hold on to those 2 things in life, it can honestly, and if you dig to the root of those 2 things in your life, it can help you overcome anything and achieve anything you want. And I know you guys have heard that a lot of times. Oh, you can be anything you want to be. But hopefully, again, with my story, it will help you realize that maybe you can. So the earliest age that I can recall being abused was age 5. I was abused by a close family member for 3 years. Sorry. I was abused by a family. So from that point on, I always felt something was wrong with me. I never felt complete or whole in my life. And knowing that I had to be around this person all my life because they were that close to the family, I had to deal with it every day. And I would always not be me. I loved to draw when I was little. I liked to be creative. I'm one girl out of 10 brothers. I have 10 brothers and just me. And I always felt ashamed of who I was. And I never felt good enough. I never felt like I had the right clothes or the right hair or I looked the right way. And this lasted well into adulthood. And I decided at that point, the only thing I could hold on to was me going to school and becoming something and more than what I saw around me. I grew up in inner Baltimore City, near Lafayette and Stricker. Not a great neighborhood area to grow up in. At the time, it was great. Like, you know, it was a lot of people in the area that got together. I remember them doing the girls' hair on the steps and playing cards, and we would always be outside making things and all. But there was also a lot of violence that people would be running down the street with guns and shooting up. So we did have both worlds at that time. But I always felt like my childhood is magical, even though I experienced those things and never felt like I fit in. When I get upset or scared or lonely, I can go back to times where I would be outside making things and playing games with my friends and just having the best of times. So as I got older, going to middle school and high school, it was very hard for me to fit in. I always felt like, how do I fit in with everybody else when I have this deep, dark secret that I'm ashamed of? And so I saw a lot of my friends in my neighborhood quitting school, hanging out, getting high, intoxicated, or starting to sell and use and deal drugs and all these things. And I just felt that thing inside of me still. And I felt like the only way I could survive was to do well in school. And I was an A student, but it wasn't easy A. Like, I would have to go after school and get the teachers to help me. And I was always made fun of for going to school when everybody in my neighborhood didn't go to school. And we never had a school bus that came to pick us up. We had to catch the Metro bus. And I had to catch 2 of them to go to school. So it was a very hard time for me. But I knew if I hung on to that, I would have at least something that would help me out in this world. So I did really well. I graduated high school at 16, and I went on to go to college early. And then, again, I was still feeling like I never fit in. So I was always trying to keep up or do what I thought the next girl was doing or this group of girls was doing or that group of girls. And I found myself realizing that I wanted to hang with the older kids. And the more I hung with them, and the things they did, I had to figure a way to make it work for me, even though it wasn't really what I felt inside of me of what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. And so I realized, like, okay, they're going to the clubs. The less I wear, I can get into the clubs, and they're not going to ask me for an ID. So if I'm half naked going in the club and shaking my butt around, I'm going to get in the club because they want that kind of girl in the club so she can get the guys to buy drinks. It's a gimmick. It's a scheme. I didn't know it at the time. So, yeah, they're going to let me in the club with no ID. So I was doing that. Then I started smoking marijuana. No big deal. That's an easy thing. No, it ain't going to hurt me. I won't go any further. Yeah, I know I have siblings who died from overdoses and people around me, but it's just marijuana. Then the next thing you know, I'm doing the next thing and the next thing, and I'm getting caught up with people. And I used to work at this telemarketing firm, and one day I had a bad day at work. This guy dumped me. You know, he didn't want to be my boyfriend no more. So this girl that was my friend from work, I knew her at work. She invited me to this house party. And I ended up going, and I think all I ate that day was like a candy bar. So I get there, guys are handing you drinks and stuff, and I'm just drinking them. And now all of a sudden I start feeling really sick. And I was like, oh man, I feel sick. I should have ate more today. I know now why I was feeling sick. I was drugged in those drinks that they were giving me. So I went up in this house party, and I went upstairs to go to the bathroom to be sick. And if you ever been in the city homes and the row homes, like when you go up to the second floor, you have to go through a room to get to the bathroom. And so I went through this room to go to the bathroom. I was in there for a good minute getting sick. When I went in there, all the lights were on. So when I come out the bathroom, I cut the light off, open the door, and go to walk out, and it's pitch black. So I'm trying to fumble back for the light. And at the time, I had real long curly hair. And I was fumbling for the light. Next thing you know, I just feel somebody grab me by the hair and pull me down. For me, at that moment, I thought it was a group of girls we was getting ready to fight. And I did not have a clue at that moment what was about to happen to me. So I can't get into all of it, but I was raped by 3 guys, stabbed 7 times. They broke my face with a hammer. I had scars on my body and my hands, and they left me for dead. I never saw my friend ever again, except in court. And she wouldn't testify, nothing. I just saw her sitting there. And so that was my friend. And I was laying there bloody and dying, and someone came in and started screaming and put a sheet over me as if I were dead already. And then I remember I remember in and out from that point, because I was fading in and out from losing so much blood. And I remember I asked them, please don't kill me. And the next thing I know, when they were stabbing me, I didn't know they were stabbing me. I just felt like it was burning. So I thought they were literally burning my body with like a lighter or something. And after everything and I came about in the hospital, I found out that I was stabbed 7 times. And this one, if they were like 1 inch over, I'd have been dead. So I have these scars on my body, but I had this big brace on my face where they broke my face with a hammer because I was trying to fight back. They did the most vile things you can think of to do to another human being. And for the rest of my life, I have to walk around with that. And I'm 45 now, and it's been a long time, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't live with that. And people always ask me, like, they get upset when I say this. No one deserves that, but you can definitely put yourself in that position, like I did. I went half naked to this house party, wearing the cutest little crop tops and all that, and no respect for myself. I just wanted to go get mad at the world and the people who did me wrong and get vengeance on them because I was going to have a good time and I was going to do this, and they didn't know me and they couldn't understand me and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I was just mad at the world. So I was going to go show them. And I walked out. I didn't walk out of there. I was transported out of there within an inch of my life. never ever to be the same again. And I just recently we run a martial arts studio. This is my husband. We run a martial arts studio, and I just talked to a young girl there. She skipped school and told her mom the bus never came after the fact, but her mom tracked her on her phone at a boy's house with her friends. And I was crying when I was talking to her, and I said, don't you know one decision like that, for 5 seconds of making a dumb decision, will change your life forever, and you can never, ever take it back. There's nothing I can do to take back what happened to me, ever, ever. Now, granted, I've had many blessings on the other side of it, but I've had to fight for them. After the fact, they send you to therapy, they send you to counseling, and I didn't want to hear what she had to say, and I asked her, have you ever been raped? And she wouldn't answer me, and I said, no, were you ever raped? And she said, no, but I have a degree. You have a degree, but you've never been violated the way I have, so how can you tell me how to heal? So I got up, walked out, and I shaved my head bald. From hair down to here to bald. And I started going out, and I became a crack addict. I found myself in row homes with babies in there, no electricity, rats running around, busting beer cans, putting crack in there so we could get high. And I remember getting up, going to work, getting my paycheck on Friday, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to party this weekend. I'll just party with like $200, put the rest in the trunk of my car. Monday morning, woke up, where's all my money? It's gone. I done smoked it up in crack. I remember one time waking up on the railroad tracks in Baltimore City, Carroll Park, over the hill, no shoes, and it was 3 days later. I couldn't remember 3 days of my life. I don't know what happened to me in those 3 days. It could have probably happened to me again. I will never, ever know. And I just was falling deeper and deeper, and at the time I had a daughter. I lost custody of my daughter. She was living with me and my dad at the time. And you want to talk about horrible, have your dad come in and see you laying in a hospital bed all stabbed up and beat up and your face looking like an alien, and there's nothing he can do to protect you. There's nothing he can do to fix that situation for his baby girl. I'm the youngest of 11 kids, 10 brothers. Can you imagine what my dad felt at that moment coming to the hospital, knowing he could not save me or fix that situation? There was nothing he could do for his daughter. And I just spiraled from there on out, spiraled and spiraled. And I remember he had a glass coffee table in his living room. And one time I came in, he was like, you can't keep coming in high around your daughter. This is not working. I was like, I'm not high. And I was yelling, fell right through the glass table, right in front of my baby girl. And I lost custody. Well, I didn't lose custody of her. Something in me said, you're not good enough for her. So I gave her to her dad and his family, which in hindsight was the best thing I could have ever done for my daughter, but the worst thing I could have ever done for my daughter. My daughter is 24 now, and thank God she goes to medical school and stuff, but she struggled through life because she had no mom. My mom died when I was 4, and I did exactly the same thing to her, but I purposely did it. My mom died of cancer. I purposely died on my daughter because of what I went through. Going all the way back, because I put myself in a situation, making dumb choices, being dumb, trying to look this way or that way because that girl looked this way, or people or society said I had to wear this, or I had to be this. And I honestly, to this day, can't give you one thing that would tell you what made me snap. But I can tell you, once I snapped out of it, I found the greatest blessing God has ever given me, and that is my husband. That is my husband. And I'm a firm believer. If you guys would hear his story, he was one of Baltimore City's biggest drug dealers, was incarcerated in maximum security prison, locked down 23 hours a day, out for one. After he got out of prison, he was homeless, eating out of trash cans, you name it, turned his life around. And when I needed him the most, God gave him to me. I'm not preaching religion. because I believe everybody has that right to feel and believe how they want. But I'm preaching something higher than myself. I could never explain how I got such an amazing person in my life. And he said, just come, go hang out with us and go eat with us. And I was like, okay, you know, what do I got to lose at this point in my life? And then he said, I'll sleep on the couch. You can sleep in my room. The next morning he said, come on, get up. We're going somewhere. I was like, where are we going? He said, we're going to go for a run. We jogged and we went to an AA meeting. You guys know what AA is? Alcoholics Anonymous. He made me jog to an AA meeting to get my life right. So I will forever be grateful for that jog. From that moment forward, he taught me that the world is not about a man and a woman. It's about human beings. He taught me that I'm the greatest gift God ever created. He, to this day, will hold doors for me. He's probably changed way more baby diapers than I have. He carries the groceries. He will walk down the street on the side.